Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH. This is the Ramsey Show Aftershow, episode number 509, I believe. Yes, 509. And I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And we have sound. Make sure it's at a good volume. Yeah, it is. Okay. Alrighty, let's get started. Market report. Bad market today. Down. And people overreacting, and why? Let's see if there's a good reason or if it's just traders being traders. Broad sell-off. Investors digested slightly stubborn inflation data and weakening consumer sentiment while wrestling with continued tariff anxiety. All right. Well, as normal, just somebody asked me in the Ramsey Show chat today why it went down, and I said the same thing. As always, the people overreacting to something that's in the news today. And they do it the other way as well. If they would just chill overall, we would have a market that would be much more chill than all the bumpies in there, and it would just steadily go up instead of having all the bumpies in there. But you got to have all the bumpies in there because you overreact to stuff. And of course, a lot of those traders aren't saving for retirement. They're not playing the long game. They are trying to day trade and such. See what the rest of the planet looks like. Everything down in Europe, everything down in Asia too. So it's a small world today. What about that US dollar though? The euro up against it. The Japanese yen up against it. But the British pound, love, is down to the US dollar. Bloody Yanks. And the US dollar down to the Canadian dollar. I'm sure they're sorry about that. And the Australian dollar said nar to the United States. Got no earnings to post for the next 14 days. And yeah, everything, the top 6 stocks, most followed on Google, down. Let's see, FCC investigating Disney ABC for DEI initiatives. Huh. I don't know how the FCC would be involved. If maybe it's just because those are communications, they fall under the purview of the FCC. But I would think the company can do what they want to do. As far as DEI, not that it's a good idea, but I do think that companies should be allowed to do what they want to do unless it's against the law. And I don't think there's a law against that. It could be some kind of, I don't know what it could be. I don't know. I mean, if they want to give more money, pay more money to the DEI people, hirees, I don't know that that's a problem either. The union might have issues with that for performers on Disney and ABC. Let's see. I don't know about that. Defrauding JP Morgan, $175 million acquisition. I don't know who that is. Trump pardons 3 co-founders of BitMEX crypto exchange. Okay. Don't know anything about that. We'll talk about Doge in a second. Core inflation in February, 2.8%, higher than expected. Spending increases 0.4%. And so if the spending is continuing to increase, then why is that bad? Wouldn't that be better news? Like, wouldn't that help balance the inflation out? Because people aren't stopping buying things. Walls closing in on Tesla, maybe. Buyout aerospace firms close in on $8 billion plus Boeing navigation unit. Oracle Health breach compromises patient data at U.S. hospitals. That's not fun as well. Never fun. Bleeping Computer, a fabulous website. I used to consult Bleeping Computer all the time for the newest viruses when I was doing computer repair. So, pretty cool. Anything up today? No, nothing up that I can see. The volatility index, that's all that's up. So let's see. Just checking on here to see if there's any red. Yeah, nothing up today. So, alrighty. So that's the way it goes. Let's see. What are we going to talk about? Doge plans to rebuild Social Security Administration code base in months, risking benefits and system collapse. Let's see, they contain tens of millions of lines of code written in COBOL, an archaic programming language. Safety rewriting that code would take years. Doge wants it done in months. Well, if you start from scratch and build a better system, that might take less instead of just converting. So, but I don't know enough about coding to say either way, but that's just a thought on it. Also, Elon Musk vows Social Security recipients will receive more money under Doge changes, but doesn't say how. Well, if the government is not paying out money to different things that they're funding, and also people that have been laid off, if they have that money now, then that money could be put into the Social Security system, right? And so that's how that can happen. They're not giving everything back in the supposed stimulus payments, which do not hold your breath on that to happen. If you once it hits your bank account or you receive a check in the mail, that's when you should believe that. Otherwise, I would not believe it. And I don't even think it's a good idea either. I like getting money in the mail, sure, but or just automatically deposited in my bank account. But I don't think it should happen because guess what? Because the government has so much debt already. And so you're not gonna be, the government needs to do step 2 pronto. And if you are giving out money to people, regardless of what people think about giving, or people think about taking handouts from the government, the idea is that you would cut that debt down, but also hand in hand with that, you have to stop taking out more debt to pay debt. So you have to stop going more into debt as well. And it's no different than a person trying to get their financial life in order. Let's answer some questions. Reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey is where we are. What up, James? Got to get down on Friday, James. Friday, getting down on Friday. For Salamander 4075, would settling a collections debt be worth dipping into the emergency fund? And the short answer, of course, is settling a collections debt an emergency? I mean, I guess you could consider it an emergency if they are going to take you to court if you don't settle it right now. That kind of thing. I mean, if they're going to sue you, then, maybe. But otherwise, it's not an emergency. And so you can just wait and save up the money and then settle it that way. And you shouldn't be doing that at all. You should be paying off your current debt and not your collections debt. But let's see what the question is, or the details on it. Not to sound silly, I know things like car repairs that keep you from going to work, replacing something like a furnace in the middle of winter, yeah, constitute a common sense emergencies, right? But would I be wrong to use part of my emergency fund to settle a collection debt? Yes, because it's not an emergency. I haven't called and attempted to settle because I would be dipping into my emergency fund to do so, but I have two medical debts and collections that total almost $5,000. One is 1925. Some places will settle at 30% depending, which would be 580, sure, but none of that matters. None of the stuff you're typing here changes the advice. And that's the whole thing with the Ramsey plan. It's so simple because it doesn't change depending on all the things that you type and whatever is going on in your head. The advice does not change from that. So no matter what this person writes here, it's not going to change. Again, if they say they're going to sue you, which they may be fronting about that, as the kids used to say, but they also could be doing it. So let's see. The other one is 3011, and I don't want to wipe the emergency fund to try to settle that rate, which you shouldn't be doing anyway. Should I just bite the bullet and make payments on both, or should I at least try and save? You don't try and do something, you try to do something. Try to save money by settling the lower of the two and then build the emergency fund back up. Well, again, doesn't say anything about other debt. If you have other debt, you pay off all that first. If you just have collections debt, then you work on the lowest one and you save up money for it. It is not an emergency. They're in collections because you haven't paid on it, and you can continue not paying on it. And the longer it sits, the lower they theoretically will settle with you for that, to settle that. Jet the dog, 331. Kind of freaking out. I'm freaking out. That was in Valley Girl, the song. Okay, looking for clarity. Wife and I are baby step 7. Great. You know, step 7 is the least likely baby step to be freaking out in, I would think. And deep into it, max out all investments for retirement and have enjoyed, period. Okay. Budget. It's looser, maybe not English, maybe not English language speaker originally, but we have the discipline if ever needed to tighten up. I got new car accident. We are looking at cars with great gas mileage and looking at 20K. We have the cash easily, and in terms of net worth, a car like that hits only 15% of our incomes. I am freaking out. I have never bought a car more than 10K, so this purchase just scares me a ton. What are your thoughts? My thoughts are you can find a car with decent gas mileage for $10,000. So, and I may not have a great, but I mean, on step 7, if you have it saved up in cash already, if it's liquid, you can spend 20K on a car. I don't think you need to. I'm not a car person, so I don't give a crap as long as it gets me from A to B. So that's the dealio on that. But yeah, you can do it. Some people on step 7, they, even when they're like in this case, I mean, you know, this is where you'll lose a lot of people. Like if this person were to call, they would say, oh, this is just a brag call because he's on step 7. And because he has a lot of money. No, some people can't do this. Some people cannot be gazelle intense all the way through and even into step 7, and then they have a hard time spending money. And it's different by making the budget looser. Like you go out to eat more, maybe you do vacations or something like this, but dumping 20K one time into a vehicle, that's a little bit of a different thing. Certainly can afford it, but it is not necessary. So I can understand the issue here. So, but I mean, and if it is a thing where you can't find one as good with as good gas mileage at 10K than the 20K ones, and that's very important to you, by being on step 7, you've earned the right to do that. Not only on step 7, you have the cash available just to take, so you don't have to like liquidate any investments or save up for it. You have it. So you know, so that would just be a choice that's up to you. And if it's yeah, wife and I, so whatever you guys decide together on that. So if both of you are on board with spending the 20K, I don't see a problem with it. But again, it's just not necessary, and just realize that it's not necessary, and you can do it anyway if you choose to. That's the beauty of being in step 7, and that's why everybody should want to be there. Traditional win, how to use every dollar budget. Let's see, did I do this one already? Some new using every dollar app and not sure quite what to do. Let's say after all debts and budgets, I have $100 left. I'm supposed to put that towards debt and other things. Not toward, if you're on step 2, not towards other things. The way you pay off debt is you do not spend the money on other things. So you are supposed to put it towards debt. Yes. Wouldn't that mean you'll spend all that you have and your, oh, I see, and your account will hit $0? I understand putting extra to debts, but I don't want my account to hit 0. But if someone can enlighten me, I'd appreciate it. Okay, so some people don't understand this, and every dollar is named that because it accounts for every dollar, and so it's a zero-based budget. That means you account for every single dollar that comes in that month, and every exact, exactly every place where you're going to spend it. Now, the zero-based budget does not mean that your checking account has 0 in it at any time. That's not what it means. You still have to have enough money in there to get to the next paycheck. So if you have expenses, food, whatever else, expenses, gas, whatever other thing, or you have a bill due before the next paycheck comes in, then you got to have enough in the account to pay it. So you can do it by the actual date and the actual things that are due in a particular month, or you can delay it a month. You can just keep that, say you have $100 left, you can keep that in there for a month and then send it when the month is over. Like from the end of the month, and or close to the end of the month, and you have $100 that you did not spend, you just leave that in the checking account. Now you got to be careful with that, because then if you look at the checking account, you can say, oh, hey, we have more money, we could spend it on stuff then. No, you don't do that. You still got to keep track of it and say, oh, you're right, that's that $100 that we didn't yet send to debt. So after the next paycheck, or after another month goes by, if you want to do it, delayed by a month, then that's when you would put it towards the lowest debt. Shadow Drown, 1977, good year. Star Wars: A New Hope came out. Was not called A New Hope until way more recently. How do you combat lifestyle creep? And I do have a song for that. Where is that? That's one of the newer ones, isn't it? Where is that? It's not here. Let's see. Lifestyle Creep song. There we go. 50 views. That's not bad, I guess. Debuted 1 year ago, it says, but with YouTube, who knows? That could be like almost 2 years. And that basically goes lifestyle creep. Instead, be a widow. Why the heck are you in debt? You don't belong there. And it's just about how people start spending more money when they make more money. Let's see. How do you combat lifestyle creep? You say no to yourself. You deny yourself spending extra money. You know, again, you don't just look at the checkbook and see, oh, there's extra money in there now. I guess we got to spend that on something. Well, that means we can go out to eat. No, not if you have debt. There's no eating out. I recently changed jobs and uplift in rank, responsibilities, and pay. Congratulations. Not much, but around 10% on my old job. Great. It's also fewer hours. So really the pay raise is even more. It's also a much better time of day. Okay. Having gone from afternoon night shifts to a regular day shift. So yeah. Yeah, that's often a promotion when you go from nights to the day shift. The day shift is like making it to the show in the baseball league, in Major League Baseball, because you're in the minor leagues, which is like playing at night or working at night rather, and then if you get good, you get promoted. And you get signed by a major league team, which they call making it to the show. It comes with much better work-life balance, better sleep patterns, and return to positive social life. That's great. You don't have to convince me that it's a good idea. I'm glad for you. The lifestyle creep, though, that's still a no, a nar, as they say in Australia. All that in turn makes me happier at work with the extra time afforded to me. Oh, didn't realize it. Okay, not much longer than I thought. More time for projects around the house, more time to socialize, and more money. How does one not let lifestyle creep affect you? I could easily spend far more on tools, more for going out to dinner. We all could. It's very easy to overspend. How do you combat that? How do you stay disciplined? You be an adult, first of all. You be an adult and not just a kid and needing that immediate gratification. And theoretically, if you're on the baby steps, and it says 4, 5, 6 here, so they're not as bad off as, it's not as a dire situation as step 1 or 2 or 3, in which you aren't supposed to eat out, but you guys can go out to eat. All you got to do is budget it. Budget money to eat out, and then it's just got to be disciplined like that. And you don't have a savings account for, just if we want to buy something or do anything. No, you can have sinking funds if you need new tires or something like that. Or if you're going to go on vacation, you have a known expense coming up, you can have extra savings by doing a sinking fund for it. But again, I do not recommend any kind of slush fund for just in case stuff, because that gets spent on crap. That is not pre-planned, and that's just basically lifestyle creep type of stuff. And so, yeah, how do you stay disciplined? Completing the baby steps, having better finances. You're already on step 4, 5, and 6, and so that's better than a ton of people. I don't know what like exact percentage, but that's better than probably most people are in. But so, yeah, step 4, 5, and 6. But you still want to get through 4, 5, and 6. And so how you get through 4, 5, and 6 is you stay disciplined and you combat that. You combat the lifestyle creep. And so, if you decide you guys want to, if it's a couple and you guys decide you want to, or even one person, if you decide you want to replace your couch because it's old and it's like got tears in it or whatever, and you want to get a new couch, you can get a new couch. Just save up for it and decide, yes, that's what I'm going to do with my money. Just don't have money laying around that could be better set to the baby steps. You could be putting more on the mortgage, for example, if there are no kids and you're already investing the 15% of gross income. Oh, Sid says you could auto increase your payments. Oh, that's a good idea. An example mortgage, or split out your check so that the raise goes into a separate account so you don't see it every day. Yeah, that too. Good idea, Sid. This is why Sid would make an awesome co-host. Beneficial ad 771. It's not a promoted thing though. I don't know why people have that in the ad in their name when it's not an ad. I don't get it. Comment Karma. I thought that said comment Karen. I thought, what are they doing in this subreddit? No, comment Karma there. Okay. Paid my house off today. Well, fabulous. Baby step 6. No, you're not. You paid it off. Congratulations. You better not have the realty property that you have on debt. You better not. So that house being paid off, that should put you in step 7. So change your flair. Wanted to pop in and say thanks to the Ramsey team. I stumbled upon Dave Ramsey. I don't know that they read this. They might. Or somebody that works there might. I stumbled upon Dave Ramsey at my lowest low when I was racked with credit card debt a few years ago, and it was a crazy struggle. My wife and I put ourselves on the baby steps, and it really helped me to put myself on a budget and just focus on what's important. I also paid all my car notes off. Great. Long story short, I turned 28 a few days ago, still a baby, and decided to pay the house off, so I'll never forget this moment. So you telling me that you had savings? You had savings. So you were doing it wrong, but saw the error of your ways and paid it off. So good job. I wired the last amount on my birthday and got confirmation email today from Penny Mac. Is it Penny Mac? Freddie Mac, right? What up, Misty Bikini? How you doing? It took 4 years to pay it off and was a huge challenge, but can't believe it happened. I have zero debt and it feels liberating. For those of you still on your journey, I'm wishing you all the best with your own journey. Well, thanks. And many congratulations to you. You got to change your flair. Don't forget to change. I don't like to talk about my flair. It's from Office Space. Highly advised to watch it. Patently ridiculous. A new versus used car. Well, that is patently ridiculous because it's pretty well spelled out in the Ramsey advice. And unless you are a millionaire, that's a nar. Used car, 2018 Honda Civic EXT, 18,202 out the door. Hey, look for a car from a private seller. You'll come out better. 89K miles, that's not a lot. My goodness gracious, we're, what's that, 6 years? Yeah, that's not bad at all. No warranty, bought it at auction and being sold by wholesaler. All right. I would still check private sale. New car, 2024 Honda Accord EX 29600 out the door. 5K miles. Was a deal alone for customers who needed a car while theirs was being fixed. 7-year, 100,000 mile warranty. Honda certified, owned by dealership and sold by dealership. Context. So what is it that you're gonna say that's gonna change things? I mean, that's probably not new car price. And since it was a dealer loaner, I mean, I guess it has been slightly used. And you're on baby step 6, so it just depends where the money's coming from. If you're thinking about doing debt, that's a nar. Let's see, in a situation where I have to buy a car, do you have to? A lot of people say I need to do something. I needed to, or I had to, and you don't. You're choosing it. My company is switching from corporate leases to a company stipend, okay? Whereas I used to contribute 200 a month for a corporate lease and could use the car for anything personal or work related with all associated maintenance, insurance, and gas costs taken care of. I now get $725 a month. They do not care what kind of car I buy or the details. What's wrong with your car that you use to get to work? I mean, were you using that? I guess that too. Do you not have another car that you own? We have no debt outside our mortgage and have 18 months of emergency fund. You're doing it wrong. You should only have 6 months, and everything else should go to paying that house off. So you're doing it wrong. And since you're doing it wrong, if you want to do the car thing wrong too, you can. High yield save, we have the cash in our high yield savings account to take care of this, because we will not finance. That's good. The issue I'm having is parting with extra money when this will be a work vehicle. Well, so you see, you should be parting with 12 months of expenses already, because that should be going to pay off the mortgage. You're on baby step 6. Let's see. The issue is I'm parting with when this will be a work vehicle, right? Part of the motivation of buying used was also to consider my 15-year-old son who will need a car in 1 year. We are doing the day plan where we'll match him dollar for dollar, and he has saved up over $5,000 so far and still has a year left. We have involved him in the used car decision-making process, and he likes the Civic. Do I buy the Accord for me and then just buy my son a car a year from now with 2026 prices, or be more strategic? You would not get the child a new car, so you're doing it wrong. Try to game the system with a used car purchase. We love some Dave Ramsey fans opinions. Well, so what I would do in this case, we are doing the Dave plan. I would, more important than the car stuff, I would get rid of the 12 extra months of emergency fund. And I mean, if you want to make a car purchase with some of that, you can. But you should not have 18 months. You should have 6 months while you still have a mortgage. So put that money on your house. That would be the Dave advice. So if you want to do the Dave plan, that would be it. The car issue is secondary, but you don't need a certain car. You don't need the 2024 Honda Accord. You don't need a Civic or anything like that. You need something that you can get to places in the job. So the problem is you just picked out these particular cars. And so you are putting that stipulation on it that it has to be one of those two cars, and it doesn't have to be. So, but generally it's not a problem if you have the cash to buy a used car. And as far as that Accord, I mean, there's a dealer loaner, so it's not exactly brand new, and it's probably priced accordingly, I would imagine. And so you could do that. But again, you shouldn't have that money in your emergency fund to be able to take from it to buy the cars, because it should have already been put to the mortgage. And then you would have to save up money, or unless you have other savings. So it doesn't say where the money is coming from. Oh, the high yield savings account, right? Because that's the emergency fund. So all of a sudden a car is an emergency. No, it's not. And see, that's why you're doing it wrong. So a Dave fan would tell you to do actually follow the baby steps, and the car again secondary. And it doesn't have to be either of those two cars. You can get a cheaper car. Famous bookkeeper 95. Should we pay off our house to or move? New car means you pay to be a guinea pig, Sid says. That's great. Misty Bikini, halfway on baby step 3. Excellent. That is the 3 to 6 month things. You are correct. Awesome. If it was a really big tax refund, change your withholding by that amount so you get the money back, and you get the money in your check overall over the year rather than giving the government an interest-free loan for a year. But yeah, congratulations, halfway. Famous bookkeeper 95. Should we pay off our house or move? Let's see. My husband and I, plus one child, are trying to decide if we should pay off our house or move. We have $85,000 left on our mortgage. The house is worth $250K. We bought it for $110K. The interest rate doesn't matter, but it only has one bathroom and no garage, which has been a challenge. Why do you need a garage? See, this is the nutty stuff people do. No garage, which has been a challenge. Got a great idea. How about you say that, oh, that's right, I can park in the street. Let's see. Or I can park in the driveway. Maybe you have a driveway but no garage. We love our neighborhood and would want to stay in the area if we moved. Our take-home pay is $4,500 a month. We have no debt and our emergency fund is fully funded. Would it be smarter to focus on paying off our house or look into selling and upgrading? Why do you need to upgrade? You don't need to. I mean, you certainly can, but the idea is to not constantly be upgrading. If you've lived, how old is the child? You've already lived there X amount of years with a child. So unless you're planning on having 3 more, you don't need to upgrade the house. You just might want to. And you can do whatever you want, but the idea is that you're not constantly upgrading cars and houses so that you always have more outgo there. Especially with the mortgage, you're constantly making the mortgage rate go, not the rate, but the mortgage amount go up every time you go. Even if you do have this equity, the house was the next mortgage you have will not be $85K left, probably, even after you apply whatever equity you have for selling the current one. And so you're adding more debt on, and that's not the idea behind the advice. Now you can do it, but some people make a habit of doing it as well. And you want to stay there anyway, so what's the big deal about a garage? And only the one bathroom. It's just 3 of you people there. You know, I mean, a second bathroom, I get it. Could be convenient, sure. Garage could be convenient. Maybe you don't have to scrape ice and snow off your car. I get it. But you don't need it. So that's up to you. And all this stuff you're doing keeps you from baby step 7. So it doesn't say what baby step. Yeah, it doesn't say what baby step. So hopefully that would be baby step 6, or at least 4, 5, and 6. which you're doing all at the same time. But like if you're in step 2, that's a no. If you're in step 3, that's a no as well. That's a nar on that. You're doing it wrong. So you got again, you can do this. I'll give you once. You can do this thing once, but then you're not doing it again. Oh yeah. Oh, it's been 2 or 3 years. Oh, we got to upgrade again. For just because then what will be the problem? Oh, well, it only has 2 bathrooms, and we want a bathroom each for all 3 of us. Reddit poster 05. Why did Dave not like retiring early? Because he thinks you'll be bored in retiring early, and also he wants you to work so that you can make sure you can have a good retirement all the way through there. Let's see. I mean, if you have the money, which I think very few people actually do have the money, but if you do, well, there's no way to be sure on that, because you don't know what the expenses will be. You can guess based on inflation and whatever, and the previous amount of increases through the years. You can guess, but you don't know what things are going to cost there. And especially if you don't have the house paid off, no, you should keep working until the house is paid off. Why is a bad idea? He seems to discourage it. Yeah, he seems to discourage traveling a lot or living a perpetual vacation, saying people won't be satisfied with it. Probably some will. But some maybe won't. So he seems to discourage traveling a lot. He travels a lot himself. So how could he? I don't think he discourages it a lot. He just doesn't want you to stop working, just the same as he hasn't stopped working, but he does travel a lot. Doesn't live on perpetual vacation. He does a lot of work still. So yeah, he doesn't think he thinks people will be bored, and he also wants them to have enough vacation, I believe. Now he didn't tell me those things personally, but that's what my take on it. Oh, Misty already changed the withholding. Great. Unless you're over 50, I would think about getting a garage since you are in the snow and you're gonna get old. I'm over 50 and I do have a garage, but I don't use it. Ohio's not that crazy with the snow either. So I have had to, let's see how many. So I've been back since October to Ohio. Never had to scrape my car in Arkansas. In Ohio, let's see, since then, like since October, maybe 3 times I just scraped my car. I mean, 50, Misty, don't make olds, don't be oldest. You're making us old seem like we can't do anything. We can still scrape a car. We're not indigent. Beautiful log 3900. Car insurance payout. Questions, please help. Car insurance payout, please help. 20 man was involved in a hit and run a few weeks ago in North Carolina. As I was pulling into my driveway, I was hit by a man on a dirt bike. He fled the scene, but there was some decent damage to the body of my car. My car still runs and drives fine, but the insurance deemed it as a total loss due to cost of repairs over $5,000. Must have been a beater then. They offered me what my car is worth, $6,000. They would then sell my car to Copart, right? So yeah, I don't know if I would do that. The problem is I have a loan on the vehicle with a balance of $8,000. Boop boop boo doo. Yeah. Made a stupid choice of signing on this car loan back in August when I was in desperate need for a vehicle. Yup, that was a bad mistake, and that's why Mr. Ramsey says do not do that. Cash only for vehicles. Oh my goodness gracious, this is a lot. My thought process is if I take the total payout of $6K, I can get myself out of this car loan. Remaining balance will be $2K after the $6K is applied. Your math is correct. Good job on that part. Before the year ends, and not have to worry about a car payment with that awful interest rate. But my mother, who's a co-signer on the car, is freaking out on me, saying I'm an idiot for trying to do this, and I should just not follow through with the claim. Keep my car with a big dent in it that has made the value go down significantly. Who cares about that? It's not worth anything anyway. And continue making monthly payments and get screwed long term with the interest. You don't just make the minimum payments, you pay it off faster. You get out of debt. You're on the freaking Dave Ramsey subreddit. So if you knew about Dave Ramsey in August, you were really dumb to do that. And also your mom was dumb to co-sign for you. Let's see, or sell my car. Have the $6K play the balance. You already said that. You already said, and that's what you want to do. You're an adult. You can do what you want to do, but, you know, especially if you still live with mom and she co-signed for you, that may, if you don't do what she wants to do, that may have problems for you, but you're doing it wrong. Meanwhile, to try to get a beater car with no car payment, you already have a beater car with no car payment, or you are with a car payment, but you need to pay that off still. Any second opinions will help. I'm sorry if this was long. Too late for the apology on that, and it was just repeating the same thing over and over again, basically. But no, I would probably keep it and pay it off faster than you're doing it. Not just the minimum payment. You pay it off faster. Especially if you're still living with mommy, then theoretically you're not paying full rent, if in any, and you would have more money to be able to pay that off quicker. So do that. How about you? You're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit. Maybe you want to follow the Dave advice on that. Aggravating Fox 6253, baby step 3, and homeowners insurance. Holy wall of text, Batman. That's right, it was. Over 50, your check engine light keeps coming on. Yeah, it does. In my car, it does. And there's nothing wrong with it. Let's see. Misty says, let's see what Misty's talking. You're going to get old if you're in a house and you can't keep up when you're 60, 70, 80 years old. You need to be prepared for that. Yeah, but that's not 50. That's different. That's 10, 20, 30 years more than that. And I'm planning on dying before I can't scrape a freaking car. So maybe I'll die while I'm scraping a car at some point. Where were we? Baby step 3 and homeowners insurance from Aggravating Fox 6253. We just completed baby step 2. However, we just had a storm come in that caused damages to our roof. That's how my mother-in-law used to say it. Roof. Or root. A root cellar. If we can't meet our deductible, should we wait on getting the repairs done until we save the fully funded emergency fund? If it's not, hey, I just had a storm come in that caused damages to our roof. If it's not an emergency, then you don't use the emergency, then you would do the emergency fund and then maybe fix it later. If it's just like cosmetic damage to the roof, you don't need to fix that. It would see if water will come in through the roof, then that is a problem and that would need to be fixed. And so, yeah, you would pause the baby steps and put any extra money to that. If it is an emergency like that, which if water is coming in to the house, if it's getting through the roof and to the inside of the house, that I would call that an emergency. If it's not, if it just looks bad, I don't give a crap about that, and so you don't need to do that ever. Baby step 3. Yep. So yeah. Meet our deductible. So we don't get any repairs done until we save the fully funded emergency fund. Why wouldn't you be able to meet the deductible? How much is the deductible? That would have been good information to have. Back off in 4 to 6. Oh, does that mean to not be as gazelle intense? And that is allowed. Again, you can budget vacations and such. Let's see. That's from Sir Golf Salat. Golf's a lot, my bad. Golf's a lot. Sir Golf's a lot. 88. Gotcha. Background. Oh my goodness. See, seems like there's too many words for this question. But let's see. No, not bad, I guess. 2019, I was single, 55K in debt, paid it off in about a year, sacrificed a lot. That doesn't matter. I mean, if that's supposed to be justification for backing off too much, then that's a no. But again, you are allowed to go on vacations and stuff if you want to. 2020, meet my future wife, who had 140K in debt. Also, Pandy happened. It certainly did. Lost all my income streams for a little while, so no joy in getting 2 steps 4 to 6. 2021, we get engaged, and I saved up to help get us get debt free. Great. 2022, we do a cross-country move with around 70K in debt. 2023, we're debt free, but instead of 4 to 6, we do 3B to save up for a house. Okay, that's certainly fine to do. 2025, we're about to close on a house. Great. Good job. Good job. All those seems fine so far. I've been in scrimp and save mode since 2019. Well, you didn't have to be, but you're the one that chose to move while you had debt, and so that was more expense. Getting engaged. I mean, you do need to get married before you put more money together, but you're already doing that and already buying a house together, so you're doing it wrong. Skim and scrape. I can nearly feel the relief of no longer being gazelle intense. But man, I would love to pay my 15-year mortgage like a 5-year while setting aside 15 for retirement. Well, that is up to you, my friend, and you know how to do that already because you got plenty of practice of scrimping and saving. And you're not scrimping and saving, you're scrimping and sending it immediately. You do not save up a bunch of money and then send it to debt or to retirement. You put money in retirement and pay off the mortgage early as you have the money each time. So that way you end up paying less interest and also making more in retirement. It works both ways for you to apply it immediately rather than save up a big chunk. The math does not work that way. So redo the math on that. While I know that's within the guidelines, I feel I should let off the gas some. Still be intentional, but save up for things besides paying off debt. You can. That's fine. For those at 4 to 6 in baby steps, how did you let off the gas and do things like upgrade cars? I wouldn't upgrade a car. I wouldn't do that. But like stuff that I did, like, you go out to eat more. That kind of thing. Trying to think. And anything else you want to do, you can just save for that and do that. Because you're no longer saving to pay off debt. Or not spending, rather, to pay off debt. So you can just spend more. You just want to be intentional with that. And if your thing is upgrading cars, you just be intentional with that. And also, if you're letting off the gas that means you're not using the car, so you don't need to upgrade the car. How about that? But yeah, it's fine. But so you just have to balance in your head. And also, you might want to talk to a future wife about it. And hopefully, that wedding is happening soon since you're already cohabitating and have finances together already. But you're the one that said this. I'd love to pay my 15-year mortgage like a 5-year while setting aside 15 for retirement. You probably can't do that and spend money on all the other things that you want to do. So you have to strike the balance between that. Now, paying it off early is what it says to do. But again, you are able to go on vacation and go out to eat more and spend money on other stuff, even if it's dumb stuff. You can do that. You've earned that right by getting to baby step 4. Fun times. Boom, 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 boom. You're getting sick and hurting yourself after 50 years old. That's all I'm saying with one of your Reddit. Oh, about the garage. Yeah, I mean, I know I got the beatus and stuff like that, and I can't stay out in the cold forever, but I can stay out there long enough to scrape my car off. I don't know. I'm glad you think 50 years young. And no, I know I'm an old. It's fine. And you think that you're going to live a long time. I don't know. I don't know that at all. I don't know that at all. Because I do have the beatus and, you know, probably don't do a bunch of other things that's health positive. But, so I don't know. I don't know. I might be on borrowed time already. Who knows? But I'm just saying I refuse to think old in the manner that, and this is of course Ramsey stuff. This is being gazelle intense, being ingrained. I'm not gonna start spending extra unnecessary money just in case I might not be able to scrape my car. Now, if there's something happens where, something happens where I get to a state where I can't do any of that, I'm likely not driving either then at that point. And so I don't need a car at all. So I would sell that. So see, you got to think about all this stuff and not just say, oh, well, you need to get that. You need to get a garage if you're that old. No, you don't. You don't have to. You need to think logically about things. And yes, my first instinct always is, how can I not spend this money? Especially if it's something I don't care about, like a garage or a car or something like that. So that's just me. That's just me, dog. Let's see. Body's check engine light on, not your car. Oh no, 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 no. That's definitely broken in my car. Cause I bought it like that actually. But the person I bought it from told me ahead of time that he had mechanic check it out. You know, where you do the little test on it, and there's nothing wrong with it, but the check engine light is just on. And then I had my mechanic check it out and told me the same thing, that there's nothing wrong with it. So bought it anyway. Drowse 89 Gazelle, biggest longest credit agreement. Okay. This from the bloody UK. Boiler broke down in February 2024 and didn't have the what is it? 1,760 bloody quid kicking around for replacement. Kicking around means laying around, I guess, that we would use it for. Laying is much more passive than kicking. The pay for replacement, so did what I usually did and took out a 10-year credit agreement to pay for The replacement and installation. Yeah, you did it wrong. Didn't really check the agreement fully. Of course you didn't. Why would you read something like that that has to do with money? Why would you read it? Just sign it. Dumb. Just thought 25 pounds a month was very manageable even over 10 years. That is how they get you. Oh my gosh. I mean, I get it. It's a vulnerable time for you. You want some heat in your house or apartment or whatever it is, condo. You want some heat there. I understand. But you have to read things that you sign that have to do with money, and you shouldn't be taking the loan anyway for that. Need new boiler quick. After starting baby step system and looking careful at all the finance agreements I took out, realized it was 10.9% annual interest and would be paying an additional 1078 quid just in credit. Yeah, you mean just in interest. And yeah, that's why we don't do debt. Prioritized overpaying last few months, get it paid as quickly as possible, and just got confirmation email was closed. That is awesome. Great. How many last few months? This is from February 2024. Okay, so you read it fairly quickly into the agreement, so that's good. So you got rid of it. That's fabulous. See what the next one is so we can have it for Monday. Restricted stock units and debt. And the short answer is yes, you sell single stocks unless they are in a retirement account. If they are in a standard brokerage account, you sell them. Any single stocks you would sell, and also any investing at all that is not in a retirement account, you do liquidate that and put it onto debt. And we'll go over that again on Monday. Once again, I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you, yes, you, Steve spends on in-unit washer dryer, not covered parking. Yes, that is true. That is true. That is the one that and fast internet are what I splurge on. And I don't splurge on things that a lot of other people would splurge on instead. So yes, that's right. In-unit washer and dryer for the win. I do not need, I've never ever had my clothes coexist anywhere that somebody else's hasn't been in. Or has been in rather, except family. Except my parents and sister back in the day, my wife and son and daughter. But other than that, just me. Yeah, I ain't going to no laundromat either. Where was I? I was doing my plugs and got distracted by the chat. That will happen. Where was I? Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions, certified financial coach. And if you, yes, you are having money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. That link's in the description and also in the ticker below. You can email me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/Coach Steve Money. Alternatively to CashApp at $ Coach Steve Money. Alternatively still, again, to for a Walmart gift card, and you make that out too. CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams until further notice. The Ramsey Show Aftershow show starts at 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, right after the Ramsey Show leaves the YouTube for the day. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and thank you so much if you have done that already. Much appreciated. And as always, have a good weekend, of course. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.